Hey, Mom, are you there? I just wanted to say thank you again for dinner. Julie and I really enjoyed it. She said your cooking was even better than eating out.
Aw, well, I'm just so happy that the two of you enjoyed my cooking so much. Although, was Julia okay? She didn't seem to eat that much, and I was wondering if she was a little nervous.
No, it's nothing like that at all, Mom. She just has a really small appetite.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess that explains why she's so thin then. Honestly, sometimes I just get a little worried when I see her.
Yeah, I guess we could both stand to gain a little weight, but this is the way that Julia likes to be, so I don't really question it.
Well, as long as she is happy and healthy, that really is the most important thing. Although, I still am just so surprised. I mean, how did my son end up with such a lovely woman? And to be marrying her, no less. I still don't get it.
Hey, come on now, that's not fair. Is it really so hard to believe?
Well, I just mean that. I just think it's interesting because Julia seems to put a lot of care and thought into herself. But you, on the other hand, well, it's just an interesting pairing, I guess. I just have to wonder how good of a pair you two are.
Mom, come on, now you're just being rude. You don't have to say that kind of stuff to me, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry, son. I'm just saying that you better make sure you take care of her so no one else snatches her up. After all, you know what they say, right? A happy wife is a happy life.
Well, great, thanks, Mom. I really appreciate all the confidence that you have in me. But of course I'm going to take care of Julie and make sure that she's happy.
Well, as long as you try your best, that's all anyone can ask for. I was just wondering why you hadn't said something like that to me before. Were you too embarrassed to say that?
Of course not. But you're cornering me with the way that you're talking to me about this, and you basically made me say it.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you would if you were pressed to. Also, I wanted to say this earlier, but when I first saw Julia, I could swear that I knew her from somewhere.
Oh, really?
Well, that's the thing. I just can't remember right now. But it had to be from somewhere.
Or something like that, right?
No. I don't think it had anything to do with work. I'm sure I'd remember if we worked together at some point.
Are you saying that you remember every single person who's ever worked in your office years ago?
Well, it's not really even that large of a staff, you know? Besides, I am the company president, so you would hope that I know my employees well. Wait a second. I think I got it. Years ago, I think I saw her walking next to you somewhere in town. I was just driving by when I saw you, but I was curious about who the other person was.
Well, in that case, I don't think it was Julia. It sounds like my last girlfriend who I was with about 5 years ago.
Was it really that long when you were dating her? Well, in that case, I wonder where I've seen Julia before. I mean, I feel like she would be kind of hard to confuse for someone else.
But it is still possible, you know? I feel like as I've gotten older, younger people have started all to look the same. Maybe it's just something that happens as you get older.
Excuse you, son, but I am not losing my ability to distinguish faces.
Yeah, sure thing, Mom. Whatever you say.
It's just when I saw her, I could have sworn that it was from somewhere else.
You're not thinking of that one woman in that commercial, are you? Because she does have a similar energy to Julia. You know the one I'm talking about, right? The ad for that brand of coffee that you drink?
Oh, right. Actually, now that you mention it, the woman and Julia do really look alike.
Well, then maybe that's why you felt like you had already seen her somewhere.
Is that really why? I'm just not sure now.
Well, unlike you, I'm pretty confident in my memory, and I don't know where else you would have seen Julia.
You might be right about this, but that's still no way to talk to your mother, young man. I may be getting old, but that doesn't mean my memory is failing me.
Fair enough, but I'm sure that I'm right about this. Either way, it sounds to me like you approve of her. Am I reading that right? Does she get the pass from you?
Of course I do. I think she's a lovely girl, and I'm so happy that I finally got to meet your fiancé. And I'm just so happy that my little boy is finally going to get married.
I know, it's hard for me to believe as well, but trust me when I say that I will take care of Julia, okay? Also, you should know that Julia really liked you too and said that she was looking forward to getting to know you better. maybe one day you two could go out for lunch or do some shopping or something like that.
Well, I am glad that she said those things about me, but I'm not about to buy that at face value. After all, what woman wouldn't want to get along with her mother-in-law? And besides, I don't want to get too involved in your private lives, so I'll be able to maintain a respectable amount of distance.
Wait, what? No, Mom, she literally said she wants to be your friend. Especially since Julia lost her own mother when she was really little. I think she wants to be able to think of you as a kind of mother figure.
You really think that's how she feels about me? I really don't know about that. I mean, I would just hate to come off as overbearing or nosy or something like that.
Of course, and I'm sure she would love it if you invited her out now and then. Besides, it wouldn't be you being nosy, it would be you being there to get to know your son's wife better, right? I mean, I don't really have interest in shopping or anything like that, but I'm sure that you could think of something fun for the two of you to do together.
You really think she wouldn't mind if I invited her out now and then? I mean, I would love to, but again, I would just hate to be that kind of mother-in-law. You know what I mean?
Of course not. I just said that she would really love it, right? Didn't I? Oh, by the way, do you mind if I share your number with Julia? I think she wants to thank you for today as well.
Oh yes, that's fine. I don't mind at all.
Okay, great. I'll go ahead and do that. And please do reach out to her and figure out something for the two of you to do soon, okay? Thanks, Mom.
Irene, are you there? I just wanted to say thank you so much for the lovely party yesterday. It was so much fun. Of course, but I am so sorry to have brought you to an event full of people that only I knew. And I'm sure that you were so bored since everyone there was at least as old as I am. Not at all. I really enjoyed the conversations I had, and I even feel like I learned a lot. I mean, everyone there that led such rich lives, and it was getting great to hear about some of them. So again, thank you so much for thinking of inviting me. I really did enjoy myself. Well, I'm sure it didn't hurt that there were ample booze there as well. I just hope that nobody there said anything that they shouldn't have to you. No, not at all. If anything, I learned more about you. Everyone there had so many stories about how you climbed up the ranks of your company. Well, I wish that wouldn't brag about me to you. Now it sounds like I set this whole thing up. You should know that it's all good things when you get this old, though. My knees hurt all the time and I keep thinking about retirement. I guess that must make me sound like a negative person, though, huh? You really think so? I think that's a perfectly fair opinion to hold. You've been through so much, and you deserve to have a rest, of course. Well, either way, I'm just glad that you enjoyed yourself and getting to meet some of my friends. Yes, and please tell them that I had a lovely time getting to meet and talk to them. By the way, is it true that you are going to host something similar next month with a younger crowd? Well, I'm not going to be hosting it, but my company is arranging to throw that event, yes. But I won't be attending. Oh, I see. Well, do you mind if I ask why not? Well, it's just that... How can I put this? Well, you said so yourself that there are going to be younger people there, and the thing is that I've heard those type of events turn into giant mixers with everyone looking for a date for the night, basically. And that includes people going after those in relationships or those who are married as well. Oh, I see. I guess since everyone is so young and successful there must be a lot of overconfidence, huh? I mean, I'm certainly not trying to talk about everyone who goes to this thing, but it's just what I've heard from those who have gone. So, I just don't think it's good to go by yourself as a woman if you have a family or anything. But I had such a blast at this last party that I would love to go to this one as well. Please, can you send me an invitation? Well, it is true that you were quite popular here. Also, random question, but where did you get your bag? It looks really high-end. Oh, do you think so? I think of myself as a bit of frugal, so I try to avoid shopping at fancy brands. But I thought that I had to look my best for your party, so I took out the nicest one that I had. Actually, I was saving up a few months in advance of the party just to buy it. You mean that you really bought that bag with all your own money? That's amazing. Well, I think it's really important to be able to afford to take care of yourself. And if I take care of the bag, then I should be able to use it for the rest of my life. And it really is such a nice one. You picked one with such a classic design. I'm sure it will never go out of style. But next time, you should make my son buy you something like that. After all, he is going to be your husband. I will tell him you said that. You really are a good girl, do you know that? Anyways, if you ever have any problems with Terry, you let me know. By the way, I hear that you're still hard at work getting ready for the wedding. Please let me know if there's any way that I can help. Thank you so much for the offer, Irene. I promise that if I need anything, you will be the first to know.
Hey, Mom, do you have a minute to talk to me really quick?
Oh, son, what a surprise. I was just about to sit down and eat lunch, so I can talk. Actually, you are more than welcome to come and meet me at the restaurant where I'm at now. They know me here, so they don't care if I wait here for a while.
No, I'm not going to do that. Thanks, though. I just wanted to let you know that, well, I don't think I'm going to try and see you as much as I can after this.
I'm sorry, what? I don't understand. Are you saying that you're going to try and avoid me?
Mom, please, don't pretend like you don't know what this is about. I mean, you do realize what you've done, right?
Son, what on earth are you talking about? I promise you that I have no idea what this could be about, but I would greatly appreciate it if you could tell me.
It's about Julia, Mom. I know that you've been bullying her in private. And that's why I'm sorry to say, but you are officially uninvited from our wedding. Please, just stay away from us.
Hold on a second. What is this all about, Terry?
Are you really still going to pretend like you have no clue what I'm talking about?
Well, I just mean that I thought you weren't going to be having a wedding at all. I don't get why you're reaching out to tell me not to come.
Well, now I'm confused. Because not only are you still not admitting to bullying Julia, but now you're talking as if I'm not going to have a wedding? You are really starting to upset me now.
I have to say, though, I am just really, really disappointed in Julia.
You don't get to be disappointed with my wife. I'm the one who's disappointed with you. What makes you even think you get to say that about my fiancé?
Terry, please, you have to calm down and listen to what I have to say.
You really think that I can calm down right now? You were bullying my wife behind my back. You know I really respected you. You climbed up the company rank of Dad's company, and when he died, you took it over with grace. But I never knew that you had this darker side of you.
Well, that's because I don't, and I never did anything to Julia.
How can you sit still casually texting me lies like that? I know that you were trying to tell her to leave me.
Well, I can see how it might look bad if that's your only piece of context, but the truth is very different. How about you stop by my office on your way home, and I'll explain everything to you. I know that Julia is telling you all of this now, but things aren't quite as they appear to be. Irene, are you there? How could you do this to me? What kind of lies were you telling Terry? Lies? I haven't told him any lies at all. Just the truth about you. Why are you trying to ruin our happy lives together, huh? Did you know that Terry left the house today? I think it might be for good this time. Well, if that's what he wanted to do, then I really don't see what I'm supposed to do about it. But I suppose I can't blame him after he found out the truth about what you've been doing. But I haven't been doing anything at all. You don't know what you're talking about. I know that you told him that Oral and I had some kind of thing going on with each other, but it isn't true. And when I went to his house after the party, it was only because he said he wanted to recommend me some books. But you just went ahead about that and made assumptions, didn't you? How dare you try and accuse me of cheating on my husband when you have no proof of anything? You know very well that I warned you about the kind of people who go to the party you went to. And Orwell is one of the worst of them. After all, he's young and handsome and smart, and worst of all, he knows that he's all of those things. He's known around the town as a womanizer, but did you know that he's also married? I am telling you that things aren't like that between us at all, okay? But even though he is married, he is always showing up to galas and parties with cute young things on his arm. You mean I'm not the only girl that he's done this with? Did you really think that you were special to him? But I didn't know. I thought that he wanted to be with me for me. Please, you have to tell Terry that this is all just one big misunderstanding. We're supposed to be getting married soon. You have to set this right for me. You didn't listen to my warnings, and now you want me to bail you out of this. Is that right? Besides, like I said, this was my son's decision, and I won't take responsibility for his actions. But I mean, you have to. You were the one that told him Orwell and I were having an affair together. There you go again, trying to pretend like you two didn't. You know, I've already talked to Orwell about this, and he came clean to me about all of it. But he told me that you were just one of the girls that he's seeing. He told me that he certainly had no clue that he was sleeping with my son's fiancée. But he really isn't like that. Please, you've got this all wrong, I swear. Oh, please. He even showed me the messages that you two had been sending to each other. Just how long are you going to lie to me, huh? Besides, I finally realized where I saw you from. You had attended another one of those parties as someone else's +1, didn't you? But that was while you were still dating my son. It really isn't like that at all, I swear. Why don't you believe me? Do you know why Orwell was so taken up with you? It's because he likes what he can't have. He doesn't care if he sleeps with married or engaged women. So the moment that he found out that you were engaged, he didn't even bother checking to who it might have been. He just knew that he had to have you then and there. It really isn't like that at all. I just want to be with Terry, I swear. I didn't want to go home with Orwell, I promise. Oh my gosh, just who are you trying to fool here? Why on earth do you think that I'm going to believe a word that you say? Can't you just be an adult and own up to your own actions? Is that really so much to ask for? Irene, I'm so sorry for all of this. I promise that I'll never betray your son like this again. You have my word. I'll block Orwell and everything and never talk to him again as long as I live. Just please, help me fix things with Terry. For the last time, that isn't up to me. It is up to my son. But could you talk to him? You could convince him to get back together with me, right? He's not answering any of my calls at all. Just stop it already. If he doesn't want to talk to you, then that should tell you everything that you need to know. I seriously doubt that you have any intention of seriously being with my son. But now that we have proof of just what a little rat you are, we can cut you out of our lives without a second thought. Please, I promise that I can change. I will change, I swear. Just please tell Terry to talk to me. I am not going to do that. I'm not going to try and expose my son to more pain and manipulation by you. I know that I made a mistake, but you have to believe me when I say that I never wanted things to go this way. I swear that I'll apologize to him for everything if you just tell him to call me. You really just don't get it at all, do you? I'm trying to tell you that it is not my choice to make for my son. He deserved to know the truth, and that's why I told him about you and Orwell. But whatever he chooses to do with that information is entirely up to him. After that, Terry confronts Julia about everything, and the whole conversation resulted in him serving her with divorce papers. She cried and begged my son not to leave her, but he had made up his mind, and nothing was going to change it. Julia begged him for a second chance, but he simply wasn't interested at all. I don't think she quite realized just the shock learning the truth had dealt to my poor son. Of course, I also felt awful being the one who had to tell him the horrible truth of what his fiancée was going behind his back. Although, I think he had a sense of what was going on before I even showed him any of the evidence I'd collected from Orwell. I think just saying his name alone was enough for Terry to put together what was going on between his wife and him. After all, I had already told Terry exactly the kinds of things that went on at those parties and the kind of reputation that a man like Orwell had. But at least the proof was enough to silence any of Julia's protest about the affair not being true. Not to mention, it gave Terry all the proof he needed to sue the two of them for their affair with each other. Julia came back to me to beg for help once again, but I was in no mood to change my mind. After the divorce, Julia tried to go back home to live with her parents, but they were so ashamed of what she had done. They kicked her out of the house and told her that they would be writing her out of their will. That was when Julia really flipped and ran all the way to Orwell's house. There, he told his wife all about the kind of man her husband was. But all that resulted in was both Orwell and Julia being sued once again, except this time by Orwell's wife. After that, I never saw Orwell ever again. Unless I heard, he fled town and tried to build a new life in a new state where no one would know about his reputation. Of course, with so much debt from the legal fees, I doubt he has the same kind of appeal that he used to have with women. Julia also packed her bags and left town when she realized that not even her parents were going to support her after what she had done to my son. I imagine that she's probably living in some tiny apartment, working multiple jobs just to get by, all the while trying to pay down her own debt from her lawsuits. I thought that this would have crushed my poor Terry, but I guess I just didn't realize how resilient he really is. He started going to therapy to deal with what had happened to him, and he appears to be doing better than ever. He was thankful to me for not holding back the truth from him, but I just told him that he had a right to know. Now, he is focusing on himself and his career as he does his best to get over one of the worst betrayals of his life. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.